Welcome to a community built of tomorrow's business leaders. Hey guys, I'm William Freitas, and this is the Socius Podcast. Socius, welcome back to another episode. Today, we've got Sid Cachuela. Sid, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Really excited about the chat today.
I'm keen to chat about your background, as we always do with our guests. Obviously, you're an esteemed guest, one with a successful business behind him, an accounting business in Pop Business. But, I want to also dive into what it is that makes Pop Business different and the like. So let's start with a little bit about you, your background, and what had you be where you are today.
So I'm Sid Cachuela, of course, founder and managing director of Pop Business. We've been around since 2018. We've started as a tech company doing individual tax return platforms for $39 and raised capital. We were in the City Startup Hub in Fishburners. And then, we built this awesome platform, learned a lot of lessons, made a lot of mistakes, but that's where the gold is, right? And then 2020, unfortunately, B2C was a very hard market to crack, which, respect to all the founders and entrepreneurs that make that scalable tech platform work. But we pivoted to Pop Business in 2020, which is B2B, working on SMEs, tax and accounting, advisory. So Pop Business, we stand for proactive, organized, and personalized. That's Pop, right? So I think Pop Business, we really are ambitious bunch of people. 2030, our goal is to be a top 100 accounting firm in Australia. And I think our competitive edge is making sure that we're more involved with our clientele, understanding how businesses are put together, specifically their unique business model, and making suggestions that help them, make the most at the end of the day.
So then let's take a little step back. You started as a startup, focusing on tech, to then do individual tax returns for $39, right?
Yeah.
So obviously undercutting the market to some degree. Those accountants that were doing individual tax returns, you're finding synergies and efficiencies and to help with that. So how do you go from individual tax returns to business B2B accounting?
So that's where we started our career. So we're in a top tier accounting firm before was in Martin Place. And my business partner, we were working together in 2014, 2015. And we just had this idea, Xero was coming into Australia, making huge waves. We could see that innovation. So we were excited about making an impact in the accounting industry. So we got the opportunity to raise capital. People were interested in coming in on the ride, and we really built a pretty awesome platform. So what it was around is maximizing refunds, because at the end of the day, that's what individuals care about. What are the little tips and tricks, and what can I claim? So we built out all these deduction questionnaires. So someone could come in and say, hey, I'm in hospitality, I'm a bartender, and it would give them 10, 20 tax deduction tips so they can really maximize their return. And I think that was a great product. And I think My Tax came on board and HR Block came onto the scene with their own platforms. So it just became a very competitive market. So we shifted to Pop Business later on.
So what were some of the learnings that you found? Because naturally I suspect a lot of those learnings are then input into your current clients, right? Whether it's learning how to raise money, build a platform. What are some of those learnings that you now share with clients?
Building a great team. So I think, as a young entrepreneur back in the day, understanding what roles and responsibilities people should be in to really maximize those outcomes. So what are the objectives of your business, whether it's tech, whether it's e-commerce? What is really the North Star that is driving the business to delight the customers or get the product out to your clients as fast as possible? What we really focus our Pop Business now is how do we give quality, tailored advice at speed? Because speed is the game of business, right? Why would you talk to an accountant that is getting back to you in 2 weeks. That's not going to help your business move forward, especially in this competitive landscape. So I think what the lessons that we did learn is, how do you adapt quickly, right? And I think over the past 7 years, my team and my business partners, we've really adapted through COVID. You must have some experiences with that and stories. I'm sure all the business owners definitely have their fair share of war stories. So yeah, adapting quickly. I think that's a key one to really consider for your business, and building the right team around you to advise you and move the business objectives forward.
And did you do anything with the platform itself? Did you end up maintaining that platform and continuing that throughout your current organization with Pop, or did that just become redundant and shut down?
Unfortunately, it became redundant. We still have the IP, and there's not to say that it may not be used in the future. I think my focus is in Pop business, building like a modern industry-leading accounting firm that provides quality advice. I think tech is on the cards, but I have some initial priorities that I want to focus on and make sure that we do really well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess naturally, building a tech product or platform of any kind, it takes something, right? And as a founder, you've got obviously a unique skill set, whether it's building team whilst managing cash flow, whilst managing investor relations. I think that's all something that you likely bring to your current clients, and that all leads to your success, I presume.
Definitely. Vision is very strong with myself. Like, I really want to build a business that helps clients, have successsical businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of the Australian economy, and it's very important that we support them. Because we have a lot of hospitality businesses in our client book, and they usually come as a bartender, right? Coming up through the ranks, they're like, I have this amazing idea. I really want to invest in building something for myself. But that experience, of crafting cocktails and really unique pieces and service offerings, that's one huge skill set. Whereas you may not have the financial acumen to build a foundation, to have the cash flow projections, to manage cash flow, and finance, marketing, sales. You would have seen it in your own businesses that it takes a lot to learn. So building the right team around you, like the team at Pop Business, we want to understand how the business ticks and how things are put together. I think it's super important that you take time and build these relationships, because accounting, it's all about relationships with your clients, with your suppliers, which is why collaboration is such a big part of our strategy for the financial year of 2026.
And I would add that a relationship with your accountant is one of which needs to be paramount. It needs to be a trusted relationship, but it needs to be one that you're in constant communication. I often see business owners who haven't spoken to their accountant in quite some time. And much like what you say, I love the fact that there is so much startup culture in Australia, whether it's one bartender who starts a hospitality business. I love that. But like you said, the challenge is they don't have the financial knowledge, the risk knowledge that comes with running a business. And finding key advisors like yourself in the accounting profession makes such a big difference in the trajectory of their business and the speed of which they get that advice.
Of course.
What would you say, I guess, is the number one factor of success for Sid?
For myself, I think it's really developing a strong vision so that I can lead the team in that direction. So we're investing a lot in the leadership training, the team collaboration. So we're going to be running workshops with our team the next 6-12 months to make sure that we're on track. The past couple of years, we've gone through a lot of changes, and the focus has become, how do we deliver high quality tax advice and support, not just from a tax lens, because I think this is a key opportunity. How does that trust in your accountant that you have already, how do we extend the services that we can offer? So, such as Confio, how do we make sure that our clients' assets and, hard-earned money and business are protected? So it's really understanding, our clients, catching up with them regularly so we can protect them and help them build towards their financial objectives.
So take us through your process, right? Like you've spoken about, a strength of yours being building a great team and that being the number one factor for success. When you create a vision, what is the process? Do you bring the team on that journey? Do you set the vision yourself? Because naturally there would be a number of listeners out there who think, cool, vision sounds great. I want to build a business that's successful, gets to a couple $1 million, whatever, high five.
Yeah.
But putting that down onto paper isn't necessarily motivational, inspirational for others. So what's your process? How do you take a team on for that journey?
So vision, for us, initially when we started in 2018, this is a crazy, big, hairy, audacious goal, right? To become the Amazon and Apple of accounting. That is just wild. And I think there are so many steps before we can really have that as the vision. So our vision currently is just to make sure that we can deliver an experience, the pop difference, proactive, organized, personalized. How do we give our clients the peace of mind that they have an accounting partner that can help them navigate tax and finance? So the vision is understanding what's happening now, what historically has happened in the industry, what's happening in other industries that are more successful in other areas like sales, marketing, customer success, and then using that as inspiration to develop a vision for us, so for Pop Business. So we do have a very clear one that I need to share with our team now. We're going to do a presentation this week on the FY26 goals. And I think, as a leader, as a founder of your business as well, how do you bring your team onto that journey? And it's getting them excited and painting a clear picture of where that is and what are the, key milestones that we're going to achieve together, and developing incentives around that to ensure that, people do what they should be doing and something that they do enjoy. How about yourself?
I'm super passionate when it comes to vision.
Yeah.
My team know what our 10-year vision is, and then break that down into 3 years, 1 year, and monthly goals. Right.
Amazing.
So the goals is one thing and vision is a slightly different thing. And we're very clear on where we're heading. For me, that needs to inform what each individual is going to do on a daily basis. So we've got individual development plans, which the team obviously significantly buy into. They all have 3-year plans, which then feeds into the teams and companies' 3-year goal, right?
Amazing.
I'm a big believer that for someone to show up on a daily basis, they need to buy into the long-term vision. Otherwise, what's the point of rocking up to work, right? Otherwise, it just becomes a mundane task, which no one really wants to do. So I'm a big believer in vision, but vision changes as well, right? And that's something that we visit on an annual basis. Is this vision still relevant to us?
Yeah.
And you've mentioned, just industry-specific vision and how that can impact your business. Well, what are some of the things that you see? Obviously, you work with hospitality, and are there any other industries you work with, and how does that impact vision?
Definitely. The FY26, there are key niches that we're looking to develop and really strengthen in. Franchises is one, retail, hospitality, medical. And we've got a lot of e-commerce clients that we love to help them restructure their business, their group, so that most e-commerce businesses are built to sell. So how do we make sure that you've got the right foundation, the right structure, the right advice, So when it does come to that sale, you're maximizing the money that goes into your pocket, and you're minimizing, I guess, the adverse consequences.
What I love about this is the timing of which you get that advice is super important. And the challenge is it's often almost before you have the idea to set up the business. Like, you got to set up the structure in the right way before you start trading with a brand, make your first sale, whatever it might be. So, a lot of the people that might be listening to this podcast, we've got professionals who are already within their business, entrepreneurs who have started their business and looking to grow, but then there are also other professionals who are considering starting their own business. And I think that's a super important point that you mentioned. When you set up your business, you got to set it up in the right way. I know for us, for example, we set it up in a family trust arrangement. We obviously got that advice very early on, and that suits our purpose, but it might not necessarily suit everyone's purpose, right? So I think that's super important and valued advice.
Definitely, it's a big decision, right? When you start a business, there's so much that is unknown. That's why it's great to have the right advisors around you. There's always that decision: do I set up this group structure today with all the bells and whistles so that when I grow, I'm already set up to maximize my financial objectives? But the problem with that, it's expensive at the beginning. So that investment at the very beginning can seem like I'm not ready to do that right now. But if you do start simply, that's okay as well, because in a year's time, you can reassess your situation. Okay, the business is profitable right now. Should I start considering other entities that could give me that tax flexibility, protect my assets, or other options? So I think it's very important every year to have that discussion with your accountant, and developing that strong relationship. It's one of the best relationships you could have, right?
It's more than just lodging a tax return.
That's right.
It's having a trusted conversation about where you're going as a business. And I think that's super important as to why you got to have an accountant who has vision, for sure.
And you can chat with bigger ideas as well. Going back to that previous point, not just through a tax lens, but maybe your family is thinking about investment property. Maybe your parents or grandparents are retiring, or estate planning comes into play. Like, what is the intergenerational wealth transfer? What's that going to look like? Does an SMSF make sense? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's important to assess this regularly.
That's going to be my next question. How do you manage personal advice versus business advice? And that, obviously, all of the advice you give is personal advice in the sense that it's personalized to the individual, but more so advice that is specific to the business and the business's financial position versus the individual, the business owner's financial position, because they're slightly different things, right? And how you structure profitability in one entity can impact the other entity. And I often find that falls in between the cracks between accountants and financial planners as to who does what in that realm. So that's super important.
Definitely. All these advisors, whether it's financial advisor, your accountant, insurance advisor, or just portfolio wealth management, it all plays. It has a place to play. Financial advisors, they usually talk about a few buckets in super, insurance, portfolio management, and just sort of planning the 5-10 years to retirement as well. But for accounting, it's more from a tax lens traditionally, and maximizing cash flow for whatever financial objectives you have. So the place they play is really finding what you're planning at the end of the day. What's right for your family, and then finding the right advisor to help you along that journey. Because sometimes you need a buyer's agent, sometimes you need real estate agents, sometimes you need a financial broker to help you with that. But it's important to have the right tool for the right job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what would you say a key business risk is within your business or your clients' businesses that you manage?
It's interesting with AI, the advent of AI and automations and, social media, it's relevancy. So relevancy is a key business risk that I see for a lot of different industries as well. I think not being a suburban accountant, you got to love them. You got to love them. They 2 decades, 3 decades, they've just held their, the businesses in their locale together. They've advised them. But, our parents, when internet came, if they didn't keep up to date with that technology, you tend to fall behind. And even as running the business for 7 years now, mid-30s, and I'm starting to feel like I'm being left behind with AI and all the new sort of apps and technology. So relevancy is important. Self-education and continuing just to keep your finger on the pulse, that's a key business risk.
What do you feel like you're doing at the moment when it comes to AI? Obviously you've got a startup background, right? And built a tech platform. Is that something that you're keeping an eye on? Is that something that you're trying to implement within your business and your clients' businesses? Tell us more about that.
We do utilize AI to ensure that, as I said, speed. How do we get to the clients faster, give them high quality advice? So there is a review and analysis of the information that they send through so that we can create a piece of strategy that would work for them depending on their time frame. And as a business, we're investing in what sort of towards the vision. If we're going to be a leading Australian accounting firm, how do we make sure that we stay future-proof? So we're investing with a CTO now to figure out what is going to set us apart from other accounting practices. But I'm interested to hear what you're doing with your business and your strategy for your key business risks that you see.
Yeah, it's interesting. Not many people ask the host many questions, so
okay. Fair.
I'll take that one. No. Look, in all honesty, we use AI in a multitude of different areas. Whether it's our CRM tool that helps us again serve clients better. Naturally, particularly in the world of insurance, Confio is our business outside of this. Confio Insurance, a lot of clients, they can type in what is business insurance and they'll get, ChatGPT summarized version of what AI thinks it is, but at the end it'll always say, please speak with an insurance advisor, an expert, right? Because what AI can't do just yet is fully apply all of that knowledge and experience to a particular industry and how that then relates to certain products and what is available to certain clients. So that's where you can't rely on AI currently.
I completely agree. You can't replace the judgment and the expertise of being in the industry for so long because there's context. There's that viewpoint that perhaps AI might miss. We might have 5 years or 10 years under our belt to still have that role. But I think now more than ever, it's having that relationship with your clients, right? That's what makes a trusted advisor. Yeah. How do you separate yourself from the pack on helping them achieve those business goals? Yeah.
But also, where it can really provide a lot of value is disseminating through a lot of information, right? And that's where I think a lot of business owners need to get better at the usage of ChatGPT. If you don't know how to do something, refer to AI in the first instance, if you like, and then speak to a professional. But say, for example, for us, we kind of laugh internally, but the usage of IT help desk has reduced dramatically, primarily because I don't need help desk as much. I just ask ChatGPT, hey, this is the issue that I'm dealing with in my business. or one of my employees are struggling to, have their computer set up, whatever it might be. And so I heavily rely on ChatGPT for that. There are instances where, when it comes to marketing, SEO, Google Ads,
Incredible.
the amount of things that I use ChatGPT for on a daily basis is phenomenal. But outside of ChatGPT, we also use things like large language models.
Mm-hmm.
We've started investing in a large language model, which effectively is what ChatGPT is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ChatGPT is a large language model, but we're looking to train our own large language model to effectively give us the responses that we've trained it to give us. And so that is primarily because when clients come to us, they want advice on the whole realm of insurance products that are out there. So there are, up to more than 20 different insurers that we would consider for a client. And then from there, we've got to know each of those policies intricately, right? What it covers, what it doesn't cover, what are the small elements that we agree with, don't disagree with, what's applicable to that one particular client. And so that will most certainly speed up how we give advice to our clients. And so most certainly the usage of AI is here to stay, and it's definitely making us better at what we do.
Amazing. Yeah. I think to your point, key business risk is definitely going to be how do you keep up to date with the changing landscape, and how do you deliver value that is perceived and actually going to be better than what they can find elsewhere. And that's definitely the focus for us this financial year.
And so take us through, I guess, what your vision is for the future. We've touched on AI. You've mentioned this week you're going to be taking your team through the 2026 goals. What does it look like for Sid? What does it look like for Pop Business? Take us through that.
We're at a bit of a turning point. And we're at a turning point because over the past 6 months, we've seen the Australian landscape change, the global landscape change, Trump in office, tariffs happening, AI, Grok 4, like everything is happening right now. So I've seen what the startups are doing in San Fran. I've got a very close friend of mine that's building an AI business right now, which seems incredible. We talked about it last week. And even from that last conversation, now it's making me think I need to be more aggressive with this. Like, what do I need to do now to make sure that Pop Business, is a business in 30 years? So that vision, it's evolving at the moment, but it's always to be, customer focused, high quality advice, speed, and then figure out, are we just accountants or are we more? And collaboration is definitely a key strategy for us this year. So I'm looking forward to talking about other financial services, professional services that make sense to partner up with. So that's going to be our key focus this year. And how that shapes the vision, time will tell.
Yeah. Because what are some of the AI elements that you said your friends in San Fran, what are they working on? Like, what does it look like? Is there, what is it that has you go, I need to go all in on this to make sure that Pop Business is still around in 2030?
Just at the speed at which they can create things and get back to queries, disseminate information, analyze, create, it's just unheard of. It blew my mind, and that's why I'm back to the drawing board a little bit on what should I be spending time on, what percentage of time am I spending on innovation versus operation versus client acquisition, client engagement. So
how do you spend your time? What's your vision across innovation? Because this is a super valuable point, right? I mean, it's something I deal with in our business. It's super easy to get involved in the weeds. Really, I need to pull myself back more often. I know when I spend a day or two thinking about it, I have this we have a bit of a laugh in the office that when I go to a silent retreat, that's when I come back flourishing with ideas.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thinking, that's the innovation that an entrepreneur needs.
Yes.
And so, what is it that you do from a percentage of your time across innovation, operations? How do you manage that?
Difficult because accounting is a cyclical business. We're sort of in the busiest time right now, March to September, October. So right now I don't have too much time to innovate, but given that last conversation, I am delegating more. I'm delegating more to our team who are absolutely fantastic. I can see us really achieving some amazing things in the next 3-5 years, and that's given me the ability and time to actually spend more on, vision, strategy. What are key campaigns and how do I motivate the team? In terms of splitting time, I'm allocating more time to innovation.
Yeah. I'd love to know what the equation is. How much time should you spend on innovation? Because, right now it seems like there's never enough time for innovation. I'm sure we can chat GPT what that perfect formula would look like.
Yeah.
Sid, it's been a great conversation. Where can people find you if they want to reach out?
See me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram at Sid.Cachuela, trying to build out that channel. Reach out to us on our website. I would love to have a chat and see how we can help you with your business. Awesome.
Right, Sid, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, mate.
Thanks, Will. Thanks so much.
Socius, thank you for joining us today. Please hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed this episode. And if you'd like to be part of the Socius community, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to stay in touch. Cheers.